FilmCrazyAdam here. Happy 4th of July. I got today off and I'm going to use that time to edit some videos today, but first I'm going to go see The Lone Ranger starring Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp. Or for some reason it's the other way around. It's starring Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer, even though Johnny Depp isn't the Lone Ranger. Whatever. Johnny Depp always gets top billing. Not saying that I don't like Johnny Depp. I just don't... Anyway. So I'm about to go see The Lone Ranger. Now, going into this movie, I'm a little scared going into this movie because here's the thing. The movie just came out yesterday. And already, just bad, scathing feedback and reviews. Just people are not happy with this movie. So, I'm still going in with an open mind because, listen, I'm about to drive to a movie theater, spend between $12 and $15, and sit in a theater for, the movie's 2.5 hours, the trailers are going to be another like half hour, it's going to take me about 30 minutes there and back, so I'm about to commit between $15 and $20 of my money and about 3 to 3.5 hours of my time on my day off to go see a movie. I don't want this to suck. I really don't. I could be doing so many other things. I could go see different movies, but instead I'm going to go see Lone Ranger. So I'm a little scared that I'm about to waste my time and money. You'll find out in a second. I'm going to go see Lone Ranger now. See you in a bit. Okay, so I saw Lone Ranger, and I've had to stop and think about this for a little bit, let it stew in my brain a little bit. Took some notes, and got my thoughts in order, and I will get to these in a second. First, I'll just say this. Don't go see this movie, alright? What's my judgment call on this one? It was stupid. Am I glad I saw this movie? Not really. Do I feel like I wasted my time? A little bit. Is that confusing? Yes. This was a stupid movie. I don't feel like it was a complete waste of time because... Okay, if your definition of a good movie is one that entertains you, like... Ooh, things happen on screen. There are moving objects. There's explosions. Stuff is happening. In other words, if bright shiny lights are easily distract you and just objects moving on screen, like if you like the Fast and Furious movies because things happen in front of you really quickly, yeah, then fine. This movie entertained me, but it was still a stupid movie. Now again, if that's all you need to make you happy about going to see a movie, if you don't need the movie to have a good story, if you don't need it to have good characters, if you don't need it to really make any kind of sense, go see this movie. You'll love it. This was a great movie in that sense. Was it a B movie? Hell yes it was. This was stupid, okay? This movie was... It's one of those movies that the more I think about it, and the more time that passes that I watch them, that from me watching the movie, the more pissed I get about it. It was stupid, it didn't make any kind of sense in the end, and this movie progressively got worse with each passing minute. And I'm not exaggerating on that. The movie becomes more stupid and ridiculous with each passing minute. More things make less sense, and more things happen just because, and ooh, look at this. Like the scene with the scorpions. Why did we have that? Why did we need that? It added nothing to the movie. The thing with the rabid, carnivorous jackrabbits. That was creepy and a little unnerving, but ultimately pointless in the movie. So, again, what are my thoughts on this movie? I thought it was stupid. Do I recommend it? Don't go see it. It's a 2.5 hour waste of time. Again, unless you're amused by just stuff happening on screen for the sake of stuff happening. So, I could ramble on and rage on against this movie about how stupid I think it was, and it was pointless and really had no redeeming value. But I'm going to be fair about this, and I'm going to What was good? What was bad? You already got my opinion on it. Should you go see it? No, don't go see it. It was stupid. This was literally Pirates of the Caribbean in the Old West. For many reasons. I mean, not just the director, but the style of the movie, the story of the movie. The fact that I just saw Captain Jack Sparrow without a beard in face makeup with a dead crow on his head. For the entire movie. That's what this movie was. If you liked Pirates of the Caribbean, you'll find this one amusing. Again, it's the same kind of movie, same type of movie, same cast and crew and story and director and actors. So, yeah, if you like those, fine. I'm not going to change your mind. You're going to say it's a great movie. But if you're interested any further, I will explain what was stupid about this movie. And, again, for fans of the Pirate series and just Johnny Depp, there's no helping you, alright? I know that's condescending. Damn it, I know it's condescending. But I have to judge this movie based on a movie, not because of a franchise and not because of an actor. So, let's get into it. What was good about this movie? The art style. The art department did a great job in this movie making all the sets and all the characters and all the locations look authentic to the time period. That was good. I liked that. The cinematography was pretty good. The editing wasn't the worst. The music, I was going to say the music's good, but no, the music was very forgettable. I don't even, like, you know how Pirates, everyone knows the theme to Pirates because it's memorable. Everyone knows the theme to Superman because it's memorable, but this, other than the William Tell Overture, which was the theme to the TV show back in the 50s, that's the only piece of music that you remember because you know what it is, and it's already linked to the Lone Ranger franchise. But other than that one overture, there's nothing memorable about this movie or the music. The characters are so one-dimensional in this movie. All of them. 100% one-dimensional. Does that mean that they're bad? No. Because I liked the character that Helena Bonham Carter played. Now, believe it or not, she's not a main character. Despite what you see in trailers and on movie posters, she's not a main character. She has 4 or 5 minutes of screen time. That movie is 2.5 hours long. She has maybe 5 minutes of screen time. Although I loved her character. I wish she was the main character. I would have loved to see more of that character on screen because she plays a very confident, very suave, she's gonna mess you up woman if you cross her. And the way she played it was great. Her outfit was good too. Like, I wish she was the main character. However, she didn't need to be in that movie at all. She appears on screen twice, and the first time her character could have been replaced by anything or anyone, a drunkard. The second time she shows up on screen, her character could have been replaced with a stick of dynamite. I am not kidding about that. She literally walks into a scene to blow something up with her hollowed out ivory leg with a shotgun in it. That too, I'm not kidding. And that could have been cool. But she was just, I can't even call her a plot device. She was just, shows up, does one thing, and then walks away. Literally. So stupid. And most characters in this movie are like that. The female love interest. Now, if you're not familiar with the story, I'll give you a brief synopsis, and this part does kind of follow the Lone Ranger mythology. The Lone Ranger is a man who, with 6 other Texas Rangers, are drawn into an ambush where they're all killed except for one. And this guy becomes the Lone Ranger and seeks justice. That part happens. Now, this woman is the wife of the Lone Ranger's brother, well, now her widow, and for some reason, she is so... all men literally just fall over themselves to say hi. Like, hi. Like she's a unicorn or something. Like she's Helena freaking Troy. For the record, I would have been way more on top of a Helena Bonham Carter in her outfit than this girl. Not to say that there's anything wrong with her and that she was unattractive, but I mean, men are literally falling over. She's average. She's pretty, and she's average. But men are literally just falling over her, and she never does anything extraordinary. At all. What else? What else? Characters. Johnny Depp's character, again, is Captain Jack Sparrow. He's You know what? I don't know what's going on with Johnny, but he used to do interesting roles in terms of, like, acting prowess. Now he just does weird stuff. You know, Barnabas Collins, Sweeney Todd, Willy Wonka, the Mad Hatter, Jack Sparrow, the freaking Tonto. He doesn't do real characters anymore. He acts, but he acts as a cartoon character now. That's what Johnny Depp is doing nowadays. He acts the part of a cartoon character, just really ridiculous, silly things. So, we go see these movies because he's amusing. In the same way, a monkey video on YouTube is amusing. That's why we go see Johnny Depp movies. We want to see the kind of silly, ridiculous things that he does, and the funny faces that he makes. The character of the Lone Ranger is an idiot. Armie Hammer plays an idiot. Never learns. Never learns a damn thing in this movie. He just one note the entire time. I'm fighting for justice. I must bring these men to justice. I must find the man that killed my brother and bring him to justice. One note the entire movie. What else? The main villain, played by Tom Wilkinson, is so despicable, and, well, not he's despicable, but he's so suave and just, he can make anybody do it. He's a Jedi. Okay? Tom Wilkinson is a freaking Jedi. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter if you're in the U.S. Army, you're a good guy, you're a bad guy, does not matter. Tom Wilkinson can make you change your mind with just a few words. There's like 3 or 4 scenes where somebody walks in the room and he immediately changes, like, they're like, I got to bring you to justice, or I got to kill you, or you're doing something wrong. And Tom Wilkinson's like, no, they're the ones that are doing something wrong. Get them. You work for me now. And the guy, and especially with the army captain, the guy walks in, realizes that he's been duped by Tom Wilkinson. Tom Wilkinson says a few words and immediately he switches sides and pulls his gun on like the Lone Ranger and everything, despite the fact the Lone Ranger has a known murderer at this point in the movie in custody. Tom Wilkinson is a Jedi. He is evil and he just makes people do whatever because he has Jedi powers. And the main villain is an asshole because he's an asshole. Like, this is your stereotypical Wild West villain. So I guess they got that right for a Wild West movie. Alright. I'm going to start. I got to get to my notes because right now I've just been talking about characters, and if I don't focus on the notes I took, I am going to start rambling on just random things about this movie. So let me go to these. Okay. The laws of physics have no meaning in this movie. That is not more explained and shown on screen than the spirit horse who becomes Silver, who is the Lone Ranger's horse, or as I like to refer to this horse, Pinkie Pie. Yes! Yes! This horse is Pinkie Pie from Friendship is Magic. I kid you not, this horse disobeys the laws of physics. This horse, physics. Screw physics with this horse. Bunch of times, just things don't... Okay. Example. The horse, at one point... Okay, Tonto and the Lone Ranger are in a burning barn. There's no way out. They climb up on the roof. There's the horse. The horse is just on the roof. And even the Lone Ranger's like, how the hell did he get up here? They never answer that. Screw physics. Screw continuity. Screw things that matter.
Something very wrong with that horse.
The horse is just on the roof, and then the horse flies. I mean, there's no other explanation, because you can't jump down from the top of a roof, which is like 30 stories in the air, I don't care who you are, and then not die. And if you're a horse, there's no way you're going to make that jump with people on your back and not break your legs, unless your horse's legs are made out of titanium and it's a bionic horse. And in terms of falling and not dying, at one point, Tonto falls off, I think it's like a 50 or 60 foot drop into a car of metal on his back. Different scene towards the end. There's a chase scene with trains, where trains are not on parallel tracks, but crisscrossing over each other like a freaking highway overpass. At one point, Johnny falls from the train line up here onto the train line down here, into the car that has massive amounts of raw silver ore in it. So basically, metal and rocks. Falls 50 feet, lands on his back, and just gets up. I don't care if you're a mystical Indian, Native American. That's bull. That's bullshit, okay? Damn. No physics in this movie. In fact, that's what I mean by this movie got more retarded and more stupid with each passing minute. At the beginning, we kind of pretend that there's physics, but it just matters less and less. The universe operates less and less normally. Now, you can argue that this movie is based off of a fanciful character, you know, a legend of the Old West. But this movie is it has to have some kind of basis in reality. Okay? This has to have some commonality of this world here, or else how can we relate to it as viewers? If you're going to sell this movie as this takes place in Texas, on Earth, I can roll with a lot of stuff, but you can't just pull everything out of your ass and expect me to roll with it. Just flying horses, flying people, indestructible people. Where do we draw the line? How do I relate to this movie? How do I take this movie seriously if with each passing scene, less and less of it makes sense and less of it seems to take place in this world, and I can't relate to it. And on top of that, you start to lose some dramatic tension of the story. Not to say that there was a lot, but if the more indestructible characters become, the less sympathy and less drama there is. Like, oh, if he can drop from 100 feet and walk away, then I'm not really, I'm not going to have that kind of tension in scenes of peril, because I know he's not going to get hurt. Oh, he can survive that, so I'm not worried. You just shot all the dramatic tension out of that movie. Good job. Back to my notes. Who designs railroads like that? Okay? I mean, seriously. At the end, I mentioned a chase scene between two trains. So what happens is they first start off on the same track, and Johnny hits a switch, and so the trains split off on different rails, and they're driving through this valley. Now, I'm no railroad engineer. I don't know everything about it. I do understand that for each direction, you need two sets of tracks. You don't need it, but they generally have that, so that you can have two trains going in opposite directions along the same route. Kind of like a road. Two different lanes, opposite directions. Yes, I understand that. However, this movie takes place in the 1860s, I think, right around the time the Transcontinental Railroad was being completed. Again, maybe I might be very naive on railroad history. Completely possible. But you're telling me that they had these extensive mass number of bridges, of train track bridges, and mass number of tracks that crisscross over each other like highway overpasses in a single valley in 1860. Really? Like, we had that kind of manpower to engineer train tracks inside a valley. Really? Again, I could be really wrong, but I don't think so. This is stupid. Oh, who builds train tracks like that? Let's see. I mentioned the definition of a good movie. If you just like flickering objects on screen, if you like things that move on screen, yes, you'll like this movie. Captain Jack Sparrow. What else? Helena Bonham Carter. Oh, I've already gone over most of these. Let's see. Yeah, screw physics, especially with the horse. Okay, these people, the people in this movie are worse shots than Imperial stormtroopers. How do you do that? Just, how do you do that? How do you do that in a Wild West movie that nobody hits anything? Nobody gets hit except for the ambush scene, and I don't know how they pulled that one off because they're getting sniper shots, people are getting hit from far away. Almost every single shot that wasn't point blank was a miss, and the ones that weren't were accidental. Completely accidental, like when the Lone Ranger offs two guys with a single bit of lumber. Okay, that entire thing was just stupid. That entire sequence of ricochets was just stupid, okay? You can't ricochet off 8 things, including a dead bird's skull off of Johnny's head. I actually threw my arms I'm like, oh, come on! I actually threw my arms up in the theater. This movie is so contrived. So contrived and stupid in that regard. Everything happens by coincidence. Everything happens at just the right time by coincidence, and it all works out. This movie took the whimsical nature of Captain Jack Sparrow. You know how in Pirates 2, where one guy says to the other, do you think he plans it all out, or do you think he's just making it up as he goes? That was actually a really fun thing about Captain Jack Sparrow in the first 3 pirate movies. That went straight out the window with the 4th pirate movie, but in the first 3 pirate movies, he had this whimsical nature about him, where things happened, and they seem to be happening in his favor, but it doesn't always happen in his favor, and sometimes he gets caught, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but for the most part, just a string of events always seem to happen in his favor. It was believable for the most part in Pirates. Again, with the 4th one, it shot that to hell. So, what I'm saying is Johnny Depp's Captain Jack Sparrow has this whimsical nature of things that work out for him just because. In this movie, they took that whimsical nature, applied it to the entire movie, primarily to Tonto, but to the entire movie, and they took it to the extreme where doesn't matter what the situation is, doesn't matter if it's 1 million people shooting you at once, it doesn't matter if there's an avalanche, it doesn't matter if there's a train coming right at you, you're going to survive it just because this Rube Goldberg kind of effect, like 10 things happen that accidentally work out for you. In this case, the good guys. So contrived and just stupid in that regard. And again, that applies to the downward flow of the movie, how it just gets more stupid and more ridiculous with each scene. You're like, oh really? That happened now? Oh, and now that's going to happen? And this guy is going to just happen to fly through the train car, at exactly the right moment that Johnny Depp was about to get shot in the face. Or Arm& Hammer. Just, at one point, okay, here's what it is. The whimsicalness is cool. It's fun, it's clever, you laugh at it, you think it's pretty fun, but it gets old fast. At one point, too much whimsical becomes stupid, and you just get bored, and you think it's just, really? Okay, how ridiculous and over the top and impossible can we make this scene, but have it still work out just because? So stupid. There's a lot of things that I didn't understand with this movie. The way they shot it, why they shot it, scenes that, like, there was a lot of fat in this movie. Things that could have been trimmed out, didn't make any sense. The movie starts out in 1938 or 1933 San Francisco at some kind of fair, I guess. A kid dressed up as the Lone Ranger walks into an Old West exhibit where Tonto, old as hell Tonto, is standing in an exhibit holding a tomahawk. That's all he does. That's what has become of Tonto. A kid walks in, and then Tonto tells him the story of the Lone Ranger. Why did we have to do this? Why did we have to do... That was such a waste. It was so stupid. Why not just start the movie at the beginning of the story? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why they did that. There are 3 edits. Just 3. That if this wasn't being told in the form of a story and you could just jump around, it wouldn't have made... there's 3 payoffs. It's basically a joke. And it only pays off 3 times for a stupid scene and a stupid kind of storytelling and just bad makeup that Johnny Depp is in, and that sets the tone for the movie right there, the first scene, because you see Tonto, you see the way he's acting, and it's just ridiculous and stupid, and you think he's senile. It's just so many things about this movie. The longer I sit here and the more I think about it, the more I get pissed off about this movie. It happened with Man of Steel. It happened with Prometheus. It happened with Snow White and the Huntsman. And now it's happening with the Lone Ranger. I sat through 2.5 hours of towards the end, I just didn't... I'm like, why did that happen? Why is that happening? What the hell is going on? Why were there scorpions in that movie? Why were there ravenous, carnivorous rabbits? Why was Tonto in a Wild Wild West exhibit? Why does he get dressed up in a suit at the end? What? I just don't know. And by the way, that kid was eating the loudest peanuts I've ever heard, ever. Like, those peanuts must have been made out of, like, stone or something for him to be grinding his teeth that much on just freaking peanuts. There are just so many glaring plot holes in this movie. It just becomes ridiculous. Because... I mean, how does Tonto escape? There's a scene where Tonto gets locked in jail and you never see, and they never tell you how he gets out. They never reference it, and you're just supposed to roll with it. There's so many things that this movie is just like, shut up, roll with it. The horse in a tree. The horse on the roof. Shut up, roll with it. How did, how do we get to any of these characters? How do we find anything? Oh, man. It's so stupid. There's a scene, alright, there's another one that pisses me off. I mean, this genuinely pisses, everything else annoys me. This pisses me off. Johnny's character, later on in the movie, is set up in a flashback like this. He traded a watch to 2 men that they found dying in the desert. He found 2 men dying in the desert. It happened to be Tom Wilkinson and his brother, the other villain. And they bring him back, he brings them back to the village, they bring back nurse them back to health, and then these guys realize that there's silver in the river here. And so they ask Johnny to show them where the silver originates, the mouth of the river. And so what they do originally is they give him a trade. Like, here, I'll trade you this silver watch for the location of all the silver. So he shows them, and then, of course, being bad guys, they can't just walk away and come back and steal the stuff. They just murder everybody, kill an entire tribe of people to keep the location a secret. Which it's evil for evil's sake. But here's the thing, okay? This tribe, which consisted of between 30 and 50 people that I saw on screen, Native Americans who live off the land, hunt, make their own weapons, are good at killing their food and then eating it. In other words, they're not pushovers. They're not pushovers. They can F you up. Were murdered, all 50 of them were just killed by 2 men. And you can't even argue, okay, they were outgunned. No. These guys, the 2 villains had maybe 2 pistols between the 2 of them. Maybe they had 10 rounds of extra ammo apiece, maybe 15. So you can argue that between them, they had between 30 and 36 rounds of ammo. That still doesn't account for the other 20 or so people in that tribe. They murdered an entire 2 men murdered an entire tribe of Indians. Somehow they murdered an entire tribe of Indians. I'm not kidding. Which means every single one of these bullets was a kill shot. And then I guess they just bludgeoned the rest with rocks. And you're telling me that 50 guys, even if there was like, even if there were only 5 Native Americans that were hunters, you're telling me nobody could shoot them down with a bow and arrow? No one's gonna sneak up behind one of them and hit him and kill him with a tomahawk? I mean, these Native Americans go into battle at one point and do a number on the U.S. Army until, of course, the U.S. Army pulls out the miniguns. You're telling me that 2 guys killed an entire... God! Ah! So stupid! And that's not the big... To me, that's the biggest plot hole, but there's so many other stupid plot holes in this movie. That entire last scene with the train and the fight, just so stupid. Like, ridiculous. I'm watching a cartoon at that point. Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, I hit basically on all the points. I thought, to kind of wrap up, I thought this movie was stupid. It really was, but there are so many people out there who are going to like it just because, oh, good chase scene at the end, even though it was completely unrealistic and cartoonish. Oh, it's a fantasy movie. It's a Disney movie. What do you expect? Don't give me that. What do you expect? It's Hollywood bull. Come on, people. Have some expectation going into a movie. Have some integrity. Don't give me that, oh, it's Hollywood, what do you expect? I do expect, okay? God. And I hate all of you who just do that. Throw up your hands and like, oh, what do you expect? It's Hollywood. Come on. Have some integrity. Have some standards, for crying out loud. Don't give me that crap. And just because they shot a few guns on screen, just because they had a chase scene, that doesn't make it a good movie. I am getting more angry about this than I should, and I don't want to end this being pissed off. Let me go on so, I said what I wanted to about Lone Ranger. On a side note, I saw 2 new trailers, well, I saw a bunch of new trailers. The first Vince Vaughn movie, where I think he's actually playing a serious character. I'd be interested in going to see The Delivery Man, just because it's Vince Vaughn acting out of character. He's not playing, for the most part, he's not playing what he usually plays, which is a jerk or an idiot. That was one. Let's see, Pacific Rim. I saw the new trailer for that, which honestly, I was excited when I saw the first trailer for Pacific Rim, like 6 months ago, 6 or 7 months. No, back like last year. And with each progressive trailer, with each trailer I see, I become less and less enchanted with this movie. I become more and more disenchanted, and I think it's going to be stupid. On the inverse, though, I saw the new trailer for The Wolverine, which each trailer I see for that, the more I'm more gung-ho to go see this movie. I wasn't really big on it. I was like, it's another Wolverine movie, and I was so angry and disappointed with the last one. And this movie is supposed to follow the events of X-Men: The Last Stand, which I thought was a stupid movie. But this movie might be a good standalone movie based on its own merits. Like we don't have to acknowledge The Last Stand for this movie to be good. So, and with each trailer, it's looking better and better. So that's good. Okay. On a side note, or all notes put aside, tonight I'm gonna have the newest episode of Life with Ponies up. I am getting back to my I Heard That Movie Sucks reviews. Look forward on Sunday for the first since Prometheus, so it's been literally 6 months since my last review. I'm bringing it back, and I'm going to try and get them out regularly as opposed to one every 6 months. So look forward to that. Check out the new episode of Life with Ponies. And on the note of Pacific Rim, that comes out next weekend, so you can look forward to my ideas and thoughts on Pacific Rim. That being said, happy 4th of July. God bless America. God bless every one of you out there. If you don't believe in God, don't take it the wrong way. Don't be all butthurt about it. Just take the compliment, and I just bid you all a good evening. Have a good one.